Foreign ministers are holding a second day of talks in France. Top of the agenda is the conflict in Iran, which has engulfed much of the Middle East. Now, the U.S. Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, is expected to explain the Trump administration's strategy to some of America's closest allies, some of whom have called this U.S. war unlawful. Natacha Butler is at the G7 meeting in Vaud-de-Cernay. So, Natacha, how much is this going to test the unity within the G7?
Well, you imagine it would test it quite a bit. In fact, we've just seen the US Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, arrive, posing for the family photo here. And he was slightly to the right of everybody else, slightly apart. And I don't know if we should read anything into that, but it is clear that it is not necessarily going to be the easiest of days, particularly when you judge some of the comments that Marco Rubio made in the United States before he arrived here in France, saying that allies of the US should be more grateful to the United States for the war that it is carrying out with Israel in Iran, suggesting that this war is going to make the world a better place. Well, that is not necessarily the opinion of some of his G7 allies who have said, as you've pointed out, that this war is unlawful. They are also concerned about its impact. They're concerned about the toll on civilians, and they're looking at those rising oil and energy prices that are having an impact on people in their own countries. And they spent most of the first day here, when Marco Rubio wasn't here, calling for de-escalation.
Rubio is going to discuss trying to secure the Strait of Hormuz, which has been almost entirely closed for pretty much a month now. What more do we know about that effort?
Well, again, we see Rubio in that combative mood, because he is saying that, look, it is up to other countries to really work on trying to secure the Strait of Hormuz, to help the US more. They should be doing more. He's saying that, look, the US doesn't even need the Strait of Hormuz. That is his perspective. We know that his allies in the G7 and other countries have been reluctant to take part in a mission to try and secure that strait. They are worried about being dragged into a war that they didn't want in the first place, but that has changed in recent days and weeks. There are countries, including here in France, that are saying that they will take part in an eventual mission, that there are plans underway to try and secure the strait. What the details are of that, we don't know. We're still waiting to hear. And of course, those allies are watching every day very closely indeed as the situation changes. There is no doubt, though, that this is going to be one of the main discussions on the table during these meetings here. We know that there is a working meeting on Iran with Rubio and his G7 counterparts.
And Natacha Butler reporting from that G7 meeting in Vaud-de-Cernay in France. Thank you very much.